Hello, what's going on, Indy Mogul? My name is Ted. I'm here with Griffin.
Yeah, I'm
We're
here.
together in Los Angeles right now, so we're shooting a video on how to film yourself. We do a lot of filming of ourselves here, so we can go through a couple of those setups. Now we're going to break it up into three things: lighting, focus, and then sound. So let's do this.
Yeah.
Griffin, how do you light yourself?
Mine is usually pretty simple. I'm often just a one light source guy, and I just use one of those flex panels by Westcott. And it's already kind of a big light source, so it's kind of soft, but I usually try to make it even softer, even bigger, by just bouncing it off a wall. So when I shoot my podcast, I just point one of those panels right at the white wall next to me, and I'm pretty close to the wall.
Yeah.
And then, maybe I'll open up some blinds too, just to make sure the room is filled up.
The little ambient light to actually make it stand out. So super simple there. Again, I think if you're trying to film yourself, key thing, just go with a big source. Tons of ways you can do it. You can reflect it off a wall.
Yeah.
You can also use a dome, which is what we're using here, softbox, to actually get that soft light. Now for us, we have this kind of giant studio that we've got to fill. We could let this fall into black, but what we want to do is we actually want to light for depth. So if you're trying to light for depth, the main thing to know is you're trying to stack highlights and shadows. And you can basically do that by motivating lights in the background. So for us, it's mostly two practicals that we turn on. You get these two lamps in the background. And then we've got a bunch of studio lights that are kind of pinning little things. They're kind of brightening little parts of the image. For us, we're trying to do the most cinematic thing we can, but we'll see. We like this setup too. We're in this setup right now. I'm gonna break down the lighting of this setup in case you're wondering as well. We're sitting here, we've got our soft light right here, so we got a soft box as well. Got a bounce board here. This is giving us a little fill, returning in and bringing in some of those shadows.
We should talk about why you're sitting on this side and why I'm sitting on this side.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm sitting on this side because I have a little bit darker skin tones too, which is good.
Yeah.
So if you have two people and you got someone with a dark skin tone, bring them closer to the light. It's gonna look a little better overall.
Yeah, I am super pale, so I always am worried about blowing myself out.
There we go. One thing that we absolutely need to add is a little tiny kicker light to be an eye light for me. Because most people, you bring the eye light down and it's enough to be able to get an eye light and also a key light, but for me, you've also got to add a little bit more because I've got small eyes to get a little bit of that shine in the eyeball.
So that's what this is right here.
So this right here, yes, this right here is actually giving me that little pop in the eyes. And to be honest, sometimes you don't even, you still don't see it. So we do the best that we can anyways without it.
Yeah.
So, and eye light is key, so if you're not seeing that, remember either bring your key light down or your light source down, or add in a little kicker. Make sure you see that little blip.
Yeah. Recently, though, I have been trying to up my game because you sent me one of these.
I did.
the big domes, and it looks beautiful. And then I thought, well, if I'm gonna be beautiful, I should also have a hair light going. So I took one of those little ice lights by Westcott, and I just popped it over me.
You're getting theatrical.
Yeah. But you don't need all that necessarily. It depends on the kind of video you're trying to make. I think the most important thing is even just putting your subject near the window so they're getting sunlight on them, and then background will look fine. And why do we like soft light?
Why do we like soft light?
Because we're all afraid of wrinkles?
Yes, we do. Yes, I don't want to look old. Are you kidding me? Yes, we are. We look for soft light because soft light is the thing that's going to fill in and hide textures. So things like crow's feet on your eyes, things like wrinkles in the face. Soft light's going to be the one to remove that. Moving on from lighting.
Yeah. So we've lit our subject.
Yes.
Now we need to make sure we're in focus.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing here?
So for us, we are super lazy and we use autofocus from the camera.
Yeah.
So most of our show is shot on the 6D or the Canon 1DX Mark II. Both those cameras have really, really good dual pixel autofocus. I think it's called something else from the Sony cameras, but basically a lot of the new DSLRs that are coming out have that autofocus built in. It'll face track for you. So I can actually just sit in the frame, we can check, am I in focus? And if I come real close or I go real far, generally speaking, it should keep me in focus unless I made a fool of myself and it fell out of focus, which Min made a weird smile, so it seems like I might have...
I'm focusing on Griffin right now.
Okay, good to know, good to know.
Well, and you have Min back there so you can check.
Yes.
I'm always afraid of autofocus because I just worry, what happens if I turn my head away and the camera decides to go focus back there for the next 5 minutes or something?
Yeah, you don't rely on autofocus ever.
No, not usually. And in fact, sometimes once I set my focus, I just flip it into manual so that I have complete confidence that the camera's not making any new choices for me. Today, I'll use the Wi-Fi apps that a lot of these phones have, and you could focus on yourself with your phone and then start rolling. Back when I got my start on Indy Mogul, I needed a way to do this, and I didn't. There weren't Wi-Fi apps then. So the way I did it was I made this little string thing.
This is Neanderthal technology. You guys don't see it, but this string is like really frayed and kind of nasty. Okay, yeah.
So like if I'm gonna focus on you, let's just put this like right on your eyes.
All right, right here.
And then we could just tie this up somewhere. I'd tape it to a wall over here, tape it to a wall over here, and then I would just go back to my camera and set focus on this contrasty thing.
Yeah.
And then I would just come back into the shot and go, all right, I'm ready. Tear this down.
So this is literally a piece of string with 2 pieces of gaff tape on it.
Yeah.
And some white tape and some black tape so you can see a line to make a hard line.
Yeah,
when focusing.
yeah.
So one thing I want to talk about is performance. Now, you don't use a teleprompter.
No, but a lot of people assume I do because one of my earliest videos on Indy Mogul was how to build a DIY teleprompter.
Yeah.
Because when I got my start doing videos to camera, it's kind of hard to stare into a lens and talk.
You guys don't realize how scary it is. It's very scary and strange.
So I thought I'll build a teleprompter, that way I can script out everything. It was a fun project to make, but almost as soon as I made it, I realized that I just sounded more robotic. And so for me, it was just easier to write a script and then just try to perform it.
Yeah. No, this is a big debate that I hear a lot of creators talking about. Teleprompter, no teleprompter. Being totally honest, I wish I didn't use a teleprompter, but I do use a teleprompter. And here's the thing, and here's how I use it to make sure it doesn't sound too robotic.
Yeah.
The main thing for me is time, actually. I think a lot of people out there think that if you write it out, you have to spend time writing it and then spend time performing it. I found that if I just tried to speak it out loud, it would actually take me more time than if I just kind of blazed through, did a quick little copy, and then had a chance to read what I was saying for the camera. So the thing for me, though, is that it's not about reading every single line on camera. It's actually about just having it kind of in the peripherals. I'll often look past the teleprompter and just talk to the camera. I go off script all the time, but then I'll see in my peripherals if I'm ever off script, I can just kind of, oh, here's a bullet point that I left my, I'll talk about this, I'll go back. And I can get it in one reading as opposed to hitting record, reading something, saying it, hitting record, trying to go back and forth like that.
Yeah, you could just do an outline. And I found I kind of developed a style over the years where as I'm scripting, I just think about which parts will be on camera and which parts won't. And I have a bias towards not being on camera very much. So I just script all my videos to be like, hey, Indy Mogulers, Griffin here. Today I'm gonna talk about this. And we're already cutting to B-roll of this.
Yeah, so you don't try to get it in one take then. You'll record segments at a time and then just stop because you're like, well, I know I'm gonna use voiceover here.
I'll print out the script and then just like highlight the parts that I know need to be on camera. And I'll just perform those parts to camera. And then while I'm still rolling, the audio's going, I'll just read through the script as voiceover, knowing that I'll put something else on top of it.
And that way the audio sounds the same too.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're presenting the camera, but then you're also reading through VO. But the secret is when the camera cuts, the script comes out, you're reading and you're still talking to the same microphone.
Yeah.
Speaking of things sounding the same, how do you do your audio?
For me, it's similar to your setup. We have some shotgun mics here, and I just use a little shotgun mic, this one by Azden, the 250CX. And it has a little shoe adapter with a 1/4-inch screw there. And so I take one of my favorite pieces of technology, the Pedco Ultra Clamp.
You've talked about this before. You love this thing.
I do love it.
Why do you like this thing so much, and what purpose does it serve?
I love it because it's pretty cheap. It's usually $25 on Amazon, and it's just a little plastic clamp with a ball head on top. You can screw it onto anything. I use it for microphones, for lighting, for monitors, it can support the camera.
You can put your camera on there,
yeah. I mean, it probably wouldn't support a 15-pound
camera,
but it can handle a 2 or 3 pound camera just fine.
Yeah.
And I'll just find something to attach this to. I mean, it could be the desk, it could be a chair just off camera. And so I'll either put it, a few feet away from my mouth underneath the shot or above the shot. I'll rig up, I don't have any C-stands or anything like you do.
Yeah.
But I have some other tripods and things. I'll figure out some way to get it near the shot.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're trying to get good audio, it's not about really the microphone. It's a lot of the time about the placement.
Yeah.
The placement is, you did a whole episode on this.
Yeah.
The placement is more important than really anything. So by being able to really spend $25 on a little accessory, you can bring this thing so close to your face, really anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. For us, as far as audio goes, we do use a boom pole, we do use a boom mic. We're using a Deity S Mic 2 up here, but the way that we do it is to make sure that we don't have to have a sound operator here off camera holding this thing. We actually use this thing called the Array Boom Caddy.
Because you have a whole boom pole here and no one's holding it.
Yes, we do. No one can see it. There's a little boom pole. I'm going to tap the mic real quick. You're going to hear it. The key thing here is this super cheap device here is a little boom caddy. You can rig it up to really any stand, and then what this will do, this will hold your boom pole for you. It'll keep it in place, and that way, for us at least, we can use kind of our pro tools like our boom pole and our boom mic and be able to just rig it up anywhere without needing an entire another person.
So what do you do at the end of filming yourself? You ask people to like and subscribe to your channel.
Yes, indeed. So if you like this episode, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Find Griffin at Griffin Hammond. Find Indy Mogul online at Indy Mogul with a Y. Also, if you want to find the stuff that we talked about in this video, a couple of key tools that actually help save a lot of time. Again, some of them are affordable, some of them are DIY too, so you might need some shoestring. But if you're interested in that, find those down in the links down below. We're gonna put all the product links there as well. And if you have any tips on how to film yourself, make sure you leave those in the comments down below. But we will catch you guys next time.
See ya.